Alrighty. I think you guys can hear me. I'm gonna start wedging here. It's another day where I don't have a good full charge on my head camera. So that's one thing I'm gonna have to figure out. I think I just gotta get a new pack of batteries so that I can have a couple batteries all charging at the same time. This battery's taking forever to charge. I only have one. I am still at 1 bar of battery life, but it's been charging for 2 days, so I don't know what the heck's going on. Given though that it does only charge when the lights are on down here, so. But I feel like even after like maybe about 4 hours of charging, it should have more than 1 bar. So I just think there's something wrong with the battery. Ow, fuck. I just hit my head on this little light here. Sweet. Somebody said, this is lit already, nobody doing it. Thanks, Swamp Mouse. A super early stream today. I just have work until 9:30 tonight, so it's just every day is a little bit different because I work at all these different places, and so sometimes the time allows me to do it in the morning, sometimes it allows me to do it at night, or sometimes it's just really weird, so that's kind of why. Alright, get this one here. Alright, 1 second, guys. Alright, there we go. Pottery shelf. Alrighty. And green on. Good morning, chili dogs. What you focus on grows. Feed them horses. 3 more pots coming your guys' way. I'm gonna get right into it here. Again, I don't have my head camera, but I do have my crown on today, so it's kind of fun, but I'm gonna get right into it. So, green off. Alrighty. It's gonna take me a second to get over there, y'all. People in the YouTube here. Alright, so let me just get some of these right off. We're gonna start with the small one today. And then we'll pop off after that, right? Get some water on here. Camera B. All right. The glitch. You guys are so funny in the chat right now. I still don't know why everybody on the YouTube... I just don't get why people want me to say their name. Is it just because you want somebody to say your name? If it's like a self-serving thing, then I'm not going to do it, right? Somebody's talking about the technology. No, it's really easy. I'm just a gamer boy, right? Alright, bring this up. 2 lanes of traffic, that pushing that pole. Somebody said you can tell he pulls his clothes right out of the hamper. It's not even a hamper, it's just a pile of clean clothes. That's so funny. Believe it or not, well, this shirt does kind of look white on the screen, but realistically, guys, the shirt is like gray color just because I get so much clay on it all the time. Nice and centered here. Remember, this is a smaller piece, so it's gonna be a lot easier to center than a lot of other things. Always keeping my elbow here locked down. Slowly pushing my fist down and bring that back towards myself. I'm pulling that off-center clay outwards, right? And that's what you do. Alright. 2 thumbs right in this middle part here. Up. And the key, I have a lot of like really hard chunks here too, so it's gonna get pretty off-centered here for a second, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep these right across this bottom edge here. There you go. Round this off. Smooth out that middle one more time. Grab your little llama here. Llama's gonna bite down right on this rim, and llama's gonna pull this up. All right. And so this one is really going to be a little bit off-centered here, but that'll be okay. Again, you go right down to the bottom here. You're going to take your knuckle and you're going to push them. What do you do with all of them on the floor? Nope, I don't sell any of them, and I just keep them on the floor. I wish you guys don't even know. Hold on one second. Camera A. So that's just so you guys can get a little bit of an understanding of, that's just one room. I always say I don't make pots, I fill rooms, right? And so my whole apartment's like that. All the cupboards have a bunch of freaking random cups in them and everything. My goal is to make enough so people start thinking I'm a psychopath, right? Alright, we're gonna go right down to the bottom. We're just gonna slowly create this little bump. And this pot is kind of weird because if I'm looking at it, right, and what I'm feeling is that bottom section is really thin actually. So I kind of screw that up, you know? And so, hold on, let me go back to camera B. Like, what you gotta do whenever you reach that thin part is you gotta kind of, you wanna be on it, but you don't wanna squeeze it all, right? And you just wanna move past it almost, right? Because if that bottom gets too thin, it's really just gonna, the whole thing's gonna fall apart. But again, you're gonna define this little bump. And now we can start cruising, right? And again, a little bit thin on that top part there too. Well, that's okay. I really need to see you spinning up. That's so funny. It's just the time worked out well for me today. Do you use them? No, I don't use any of them. I've always thought you want to make like, sometimes function gives things value. I don't want to be led through life by like things that have this like universal value. Like a cup has a universal value to hold something, right? Like I want to be led by things that have like an internal value, right? I feel like pottery is less expensive than painting, you know, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3, 4. And I just want to go a little bit more on this middle part here. So when I twist this top up, it's going to collapse a little bit lower. Okay. Chill out, then raise this up just a tad. There we go. Kiss the rim. And we're good. Yeah, you know, you want to be careful with if you're throwing on the wheel, right, it's really important to have a certain, like, what's the word, plasticity of clay. I think sometimes a lot of clay that you'll just get from the ground, it's not really the best for throwing, right? And a lot of it's low fire, but there's definitely some places where they just, you know, get it right from the ground and throw it on the wheel. Down to the bottom edge. We're gonna get that off of there. And so right now, the tendrils on this bottom are super, super thin. And so we'll do a pull and we'll see here. Someone said break it. What got you to start doing this? I told myself I wasn't gonna, it's kind of a weird story, but so for a long time, I always kind of folded whenever adversity came my way, right? And then I told myself, all right, well, no more doing that. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do it for the rest of my life. That thing happened to be pottery, and now I'm doing it. So that's kind of what got me into it. I was doing a lot of drawing and I wanted to be an animator before, and that didn't really do too well for me. I finished a piece and I just felt like I couldn't do it all day for the rest of my life, right? And so I gave up again, and then that's when I made that decision to kind of stop giving up, right? Your wheel's getting a little squeaky. Yeah, I mean, it's getting pretty bad. But to be fair, my wheel was squeaky since the day I got it. Some wheels aren't squeaky at all, but mine has always been kind of squeaky. There we go. Not sure how I'm liking the tendrils on the bottom of this one. They do kind of look like some grass or like twigs and stuff though. Alright, camera A. Camera A. We got another one coming at you guys here. So we're going to start off with this one. I was watching your vid and enjoying my live. Ah, cool. Maybe you can mold. We see it from the river, but we didn't use wheel. Nah, I only use the wheel. The wheel for me is like really important to my my making process, right? Like the wheel has like some universal factors, right? Like the centrifugal force and gravity at play. and it's that battle versus you, those factors, and the material. It's super simple, right? As soon as you get to like, oh, I can squeeze, or I can coil build, and I can roll slabs and all this other stuff, it's so drenched in like randomness, right? I feel like it's not as simple anymore, right? I kind of like that honest, simple battle against you in these couple things, right? And think about it, if you make a dog, right? Who's gonna come over and tell you like your sculpture doesn't look like a dog? You can just kind of say it's a dog, right? But you can know a pot failed when it's like you feel it, right? You see it like visually, right? It just happens on the wheel, right? It's a lot more of an honest material, in my opinion. Do I have siblings that also do poetry? Pottery, I'm assuming? No. I'm gonna bring this down. Somebody asked how old I am. Are you asking because you think I look old, or because you think I look young? Or am I ambiguous? Alright, anyway, hand right on the bottom again. And I have some air bubbles right in that bottom section there. Somebody says, I feel like you really missed the chance to call yourself Harry Potter. That's funny. Well, we can just turn this. Yeah, maybe, but I'm not I feel like there's a lot of like Harry Potter fans that would come into my chat then and then ask me things, and I know nothing about Harry Potter, so I don't even go for it, you know? Alright, transition, bring this up a little bit, and then you're gonna bring your hammer fist right down on top. What sport do I play? I play, it's a Chinese sport. It's more of a game. It's called Ti Tianzi. And it's called kickbird, right? And it's kind of like, it's like badminton with your feet, right? Pulling this right out to the side here. Alright. Camera B. Thumb's right in this middle section here. Cut right across this bottom edge here. Ohio. Somebody asked where I'm based. I'm from Ohio. Somebody said they went to China. Delicious food. Yeah, really good food actually. I've never been to China, but I've been to some places that have something called Peking duck. This stuff's amazing. Somebody asked me how long I've been doing pottery. Like about 4.5 years on the wheel. I used to do a lot more sculptural stuff before that. Yeah, but 4.5 years seriously on the wheel. Alright, knuckle right on the edge here. Just like push this in. Do I ever feel like quitting? Every single day. I'm serious. I cannot stand doing this every day. But it's been giving me value, right? Like, I always think about how I should have done something. Probably went to school for something like a little bit more stable, and then got like a job that just I can get a little bit more money. That way I could use the money to feed this thing rather than do the opposite, right? I think sometimes you can feel really stuck. And when you feel stuck, you have to think and reflect. And I think that's the real killer of the mind, right? But you can't let it influence what you do, right? Do I ever give someone my pottery? Oh yeah, that's like my favorite thing to do actually. Like I make a bunch of these things, and a lot of people always ask, how come I don't sell? Well, I don't really sell, but I do give things away. Right, that's always been my thing. It's like a huge part of my work is gifting actually. What's your first pottery? It was a little terracotta pot that I painted some white slip over, and I made my friends into rocks, and I set my friends as rocks on the sides of my pots. It's a really good one. What are 2 stable jobs I think I'd be good at? I think I'd be good at, I don't know. I feel like I'd be pretty good at most things. For just like a stable job, like I think I'd be good at construction stuff. I think a lot of trade school jobs I think I probably would have been good at. You know, my mom's always sending me Lowe's Lowe's applications. But right now I teach at 4 different places, so I can't really do that right now. Have you ever made a person with clay? That was all my original work, was all just sculptural elements like faces and eyes and all sorts of things like crawling out of cups and mugs. But I feel like that's like such a trendy thing. Like, I don't know. It just seemed a little bit cringe after a while, so I just stopped doing that stuff. And I realized that I was trying to band-aid the shitty forms with sculptural elements, right? And so then I told myself I'm just gonna stop doing that. What's the best thing I made in pottery? You guys are asking a lot of really questions. Best thing I made in pottery is probably one of the trees from this year. I've had some of them where I feel so energized. Like I feel like somebody just plugged in a new battery after I got done throwing. And that was like probably one of the best days. I think it was in December sometime, but there was something about that energy that day that was just crazy. Somebody says it's not cringe. Yeah, you know, maybe for some people it's not, but for me it's not, right? Because when I was doing it, like, it was like the stuff that I'd make in like my composition book, but now like as a kid, but on the forms of an object, and I was only doing it to kind of, like I said earlier, to be a band-aid for like my terrible forms, right? Like I'd be like, oh well, that's a bad cup. Here, let me put a nose over here and some eyes over here, right? And then it was acceptable all of a sudden, right? Just because it became a sculptural thing. And so I think sometimes sculpture, you know, gets in the way of a good object, right? I don't think I was trying to make them be harmonious. And we're walking these up. We don't want to do too much with these, right? I think the goal for these is that I'm really focusing on, a couple days ago, I figured out this like double back tendril end where I kind of fold the tendril and it creates this like little hoop or loop, or maybe it kind of reminds me of like a bacon strip. And I kind of like the way those end instead of just being these pointy things, that they kind of fold back into each other. And so you can see on some of them I've been like folding them back into each other, right? I like the music, goes well with the Jesus vibes, and the monologue. So funny. It's just like some, if you look up dark fantasy, or like it's kind of like a dungeon synth music too. But I just pulled that up randomly. Okay, camera A. Alrighty, we got one more for you guys. These ones are actually pretty similar. Maybe this one will be different. We'll see in a second. Alright, and then let me get over back to chat and I can respond to some stuff. Can you do a mug with a person on it? No, like I said, I don't really sculpt. The only time I sculpt things is for like my classes, when it's kind of like obligated that I have to teach people about that stuff. Somebody asked, do I have friends? I have 4 quarters, you know, and you know, I'm always thankful that I don't have 100 pennies, and I got my 4 quarters. I don't see them very often, and we're all busy right now, but they're really great people. So I got a couple of friends. Someone said be confident with the stuff I make. Don't worry, I'm really confident, right? If you're talking about the old stuff, yeah, the old stuff was just dog water though, but the stuff I'm making now, it's not that I think this stuff is good. I just think it's good for my mentality. So don't worry, I'm pretty confident about that. Someone said, can we see your best pottery, please? It's probably just one of the trees, like I said, any of these ones over here or something, you know. It's somewhere, maybe, I know you can't see this one, or maybe you can. This one right here, it's a double twist. The double twists are probably some of my favorite. I keep that one there, and I think it's pretty good. Someone said, is it a mushroom? Some of them look like mushrooms for sure. I should leave the live. Yeah, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Make a heart plate, please. Do you only make trees? Yeah, because right now I'm just making the trees every single day for a year, right? And so I've been making 3 every single day, and a year is almost at July. I think it's July 17th or 14th, like that, right? Have I met any celebrities? No, I don't really. That's not really my thing. I've always thought everybody's just people, you know? You're so funny, Tom. Bro, you're not slick with that, man. I'm literally a zoomer. That stuff doesn't work on me. Somebody's trying to do like one of those things where it's like Kahoot names, where somebody would be like, my name is Ben, and then my last name is Dover. You won't get me with that, bro. I'm slick with it. Did you ever make a trophy? No. Have I ever met celebrities? No. Do I like basketball? No. I have bad memories. One of my friends, one of those 4 quarters, always plays me in basketball, and I'm not good at it, but he always goes try hard, and then I just lose. So I spend an hour to just go lose. Someone says, do I know about Has Been Hotel? Sounds like a cartoon. Is it an anime or something? So not really. Have you met any talented people that really impressed you? Like in the pottery sense? I have one of my professors in undergrad. His name is Alberto. He's Oh man, I feel like I was very fortunate to have him around. He never really sat down with me and helped me on the wheel or anything, but he was like kind of just working on his own projects. And I think having someone who really viewed clay in a non-standard way really helped me think outside the box when it came to my throwing, you know? Do I ever get injured from doing pottery? I used to, when I used to try to use my strength to throw, right? And then I realized, oh no, you just got to use your body weight to throw, and it makes everything way easier. I used to actually get sore at the end of the day, but no. I did have one time when I used to be a fry cook, right? And one time I was cleaning out the grease, right? You have to clean the grease from the fryer, right? And I set the little grate that helps stop the crumbs of things fall down, right? And I set that above the actual machine, like kind of like on the top of it, right? But I thought it was getting cooled from being up there, but I didn't realize that it was still scalding hot. And I grabbed it and I burned like the finger pads off my hand, right? And it was so bad. And it didn't really feel anything. It just felt warm, right? And then I had to go do a throwing session where I had to throw for 24 hours after that, like 24 hours straight, and my finger pads on my hands were falling off as I was throwing. It was really bad. I think some people thought I was a psychopath when I did that. It's a lot of pots. How long does it take you? Well, if you guys weren't here and I was just focusing on the throwing, I think I could do a tree in maybe 5 minutes, right? And then 5 to 7 minutes, I'll give myself a little bit of room there, right? But all of these, I mean, I'm almost at a year now, so. What type of clay am I using? Right now, I'm using stoneware. It's the best clay. Tom Chess. Bro. Alright. One more time underneath. Oh, somebody sent in some love from India. 5 minutes? That's so fast? Well, you guys gotta remember, I have to look at the chat, I have to communicate, I have to think of things to think about. But ideally, my whole art practice, I'm getting a little bit wobbly in that middle part. My whole practice of making, right, is all about efficiency. I used to just make tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of cups, right? And so I would get really quick with that stuff, right? Okay. So you got a little bit of a wobble in that middle part there, right? And if you ever have that and if you want to address that, that's all you take is like one of these wooden ribs and then keep smoothing that out, right? Somebody says, why do you have to keep adding water to it? I'm just a really wet thrower. I don't like any friction, and I throw with harder clay. So the clay, when I start it, I let it dry out for like 8 hours before I even start to use it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just want to make sure this one's I'm getting a little rip there, but we're not going to freak out. Oh, this one's going to be wacky. And so it's going to start tipping over on one side. This might even be a double twist, guys. Alright, so twist this up here. Fingers on this inside part. This side needs to come down a little bit. Okay. And And so that one, I ripped it a couple times when I was pulling that up, so it wanted to taper over to one side. But as long as you let it twist up, then the twist becomes a support for it, right? So it's about practice. You got a lot of water there. Why is it not falling down now? I mean, it is wobbly and weak, right? So like when you start with hard clay, it's really structural and hard to like get the clay upwards, right? But usually by the time it is time to start adding like the spirals and all the added elements, it gets soft enough where it wants to be smooth, right? Someone says, if I'm from Afghanistan. No, I'm from the US. Have you ever been to the UK? Love from England? Oh, love from Sweden too. Thank you guys. I feel like right now we have there's people all over the world. Earlier we had somebody from India too, so it's cool. I think that's like one of the coolest things. I've always thought it'd be kind of awesome that I can connect with people around the world about pottery. I'm sure every single place. I know India has a huge pottery scene as well, you know, so it's kind of interesting to see what everybody's different perspectives on pottery is. So it's about practice. Oh, I already read that. Do you make them in different colors? No, I haven't glazed or fired any of them yet. So they're kind of just chilling out right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Those are the petals. Somebody asked me if I'm Muslim. No, I was raised Catholic, right? But right now, I'm not really a practicing religious person. I told myself, you know, the best way to honor God, right, in some degree, is by, you know, acting accordingly to his people, right? And so I'm not practicing right now. Maybe one day I will, though. A lot of Muslim friends of mine always say that they think I am a Muslim and I don't know it yet. But I think a lot of religions can say that about people, you know. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna set this over here. Will I ever fire them? Yeah, I'll fire them one day. I just gotta find a place that will let me fire all 1,000 of them, right? I think this one can be on the top. I do like this one in the front here. I think it'd be kind of cool. That's the thing, I haven't fired them. I haven't fired a single one of them. I have other stuff that's been fired in that over there. Like past pieces, but none of the trees have been fired. Alright, that looks fine to me. How do I dry them? So I don't cut these off of the wheel or the bat here. I just let them dry on the bat until they separate off. And so I can make them really, really thin on the bottom part. And that way, you know, I can make that bottom part thin and they'll just pop off rather than having the wires. Then I can get as much weight off that bottom upwards, right? All right, here we go. I'm gonna get over there now, guys. Green on. Oh, 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 got this one over here. I feel like this one today is the most wound up. You can kind of see the difference between some of them, but when you walk that twist up, it really wants to get really twisted up, right? And so I like how condensed that is. I always think it's a little bit more narrow there too, so it looks more like those trees I'm trying to get. I did a 4-petal on that one, so I'm quite liking this one. This one might be the favorite of the day. Then we got these two over here. You know, I'll talk about them in a similar way because I feel like they're pretty close to each other. The only thing I think the main difference of these two is this one on the top is starting to split on the rim, so you can see it dipping down. But the tendrils are pretty similar, but I think that the actual veins of the tree, this one's are a little bit loose and gets tighter, where I think this one gets tighter a little bit lower, right? It's starting to really twist up a little bit more. And so I think that they're both pretty average, but it's interesting. Sometimes they always look so polarizing, every single one. To see two of them that are in a set that look pretty similar is kind of nice. But anyway, guys, thank you again so much for watching. Should I end you guys off with I already did the one of the stuff I was doing today, so maybe I'll end you guys off with, no, you know what? All the best and strong mentality. I'm gonna read the chat and I'm gonna head off here, okay? I gotta go edit. Thanks for the stream. Yep. Alright, sounds good, y'all. I'm gonna head off. Alright. Computer, I'll see you guys in the next one.